Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video will be week 5 NFL preview recap. Um so we have a lot to go over, so I'll just get right into it. Make sure to like and subscribe. It helps a lot since small channel and everything. So yeah, we'll just start with Jaguars Bills. This was a London game. Um Going into it, so the Jags, they played a London game last week, and so they stayed in London for the whole week, whereas the Bills just got here. And I didn't think that'd be a big thing coming into the game, but it turned out it was. You could tell the Bills were just totally off until like the second half. They did not look like themselves, and I think that's probably why. I mean, the Jags defense, they played well, but it kind of seemed like the Bills were just beating themselves rather than the Jags beating them. Does that make sense? Um, I thought Trevor Lawrence probably had his best game so far. He had he was 10 of 18 on third down with lots of throws down the field, which if you've been watching my videos, I mentioned I believe 2 weeks ago that I'd like to see Trevor Lawrence throw down the field more, and they're finally doing it. They're calling the plays to allow that, and he did great on them. He was accurate. The receivers caught them this time. I think him and Calvin Ridley are getting better. Like they're starting to get a better chemistry. Whereas for a while they were forcing it, and then and it just wasn't working, and he was dropping the ball a lot. But so they looked a lot better. The Jags O line, their offensive line looks horrible, like awful. Uh, lots of sacks, lots of holds, penalties. Um, they just got Cam Robinson back from suspension. I wonder if maybe some of the problems today were trying to just fit him back into the line. That could be some of it, but he looked bad. Maybe he's just rusty. Um, a lot of people think that Trevor Lawrence is a bad quarterback because he fumbles the ball a lot, and he needs to not fumble, like for sure. But I think the fumbling issues are exas uh, exacerbated. I don't know if that's the right word, or like made worse by how bad the offensive line is. Like he wouldn't be fumbling as much if the offensive line wasn't letting up so much pressure and sacks. He still needs to not fumble, but I'm just saying like why it's happening more than you would think. Um, he had a big throw on 3rd and 4 to Calvin Ridley at the end of the game to kind of seal the game. Otherwise, the Bills would have gotten the ball back. He put it in like a it was a really accurate throw. It's one of the best throws I've seen from him so far. And yeah, I still see people on like social media calling him a bust and that he's trash and whatnot, but like I don't know. I don't see it. I think he's really good. He's gonna be really good. I think Doug Peterson is back to calling plays. At least that's what it seemed like. The play calling was a lot better, and it looked like when the camera pointed to him, it looked like he was physically calling the plays, which was something I said they needed to do to make the offense look better, and the offense did look a lot better. For the Bills, they looked like they were asleep, which is understandable given the time change. Um, they were better in the second half. Uh, Trayvon Diggs or no, not Trayvon, Stephon Diggs, Bills wide receiver. He threw another temper tantrum. I don't know, they're getting pretty common now. Like Josh Allen looks like he's kind of done with it. So I think that's something to monitor. Um, there were a lot of injuries this game, and that brings me to this point I wanted to make. The NFL, when they do their international games, the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, uh, they play a lot of games there. And it's a really cool stadium. They have their grass field, right, for the soccer players, and it kind of like moves. They can like put it into storage and bring out a turf field, is what they do. And like that's cool and all, but like the turf is really low quality. And it just seems like every time they play there, there's a lot of injuries. Um, and I don't get why they can't just play on the grass. And it like if the NFL wants to spread the game internationally, they have to send a good product, and a good product does not involve, half a team getting injured because of a shitty field. Uh, I just, I just thought that was really bad and just a bummer, especially for Bills fans, because it the injuries were worse for them. I think. Um, it just doesn't make sense. Like they have a grass field there, and last week they played at Wembley, which has grass, and they were able to play on grass at that stadium. So why not? Why not at this stadium? And otherwise, it's a cool stadium. Like, but uh, um, yeah. So Jags are 3-2. Bills are also 3-2 after the end of this game. Um, it's kind of funny the AFC South. Like everyone, including myself, thought the Jags would run away with it, but it's in. It's all four teams are contending as of right now for it, which is pretty crazy considering two of them are rookie quarterbacks that we'll get to eventually. Um, and then for the AFC East, I think the Bills are going to be okay because they already beat the Dolphins once. Um, Jets are they aren't going to win division. Patriots are dead. So I think the Bills will be fine. They just kind of had a weird game here. We'll go to Saints Patriots. As I just said, the Patriots are dead. Mac Jones sucks. They're officially in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. Um, this so last week was Bill Belichick's worst loss of his career, and this week this is his second worst loss of his career. Um, I don't have too much to say on this game. I got this one wrong because I kind of underestimated the impact that the injuries to Judon and Gonzalez. I kind of underestimated how much that would affect their defense. Uh, Derek Carr looked like old Derek Carr. He was just throwing it all over. Uh, he was just throwing it up and down the field. He looked great. Saints offense in general looked the best it's looked this season. Um, as for the Patriots, like I said, Mac Jones is terrible. He's not a starting quarterback. Um, when when like a tiny bit of pressure, when he feels a tiny bit of pressure, he will turn the ball over or get sacked or both. And the Patriots' offensive line is not that good, so he's getting pressured a lot, and so that's why they've put up 3 points these past two games. Uh, a lot of people want Bill Belichick fired, and I think that's a major overreaction. Uh, I just think Mac Jones isn't good. and the players don't like Mac Jones. They don't want to fight for him. You can literally tell it as you watch. Um, as for why I don't think Bill Belichick should be fired is because, like, go back and watch that Rams Patriots Super Bowl from a few years ago, and that will tell you everything you need to know. Like, he's the greatest coach of all time. Like, I really don't see why people want him fired. I think people are just upset. And I see a lot of comments, not comments, because no one comments on my videos, but like social media posts, um, saying that Brady like did everything for the Patriots and not Bill Belichick. But I'd like to push back on that a little bit, like because Brady had top 10 defenses almost every year of his career there. And it's not like he put together the defense or he didn't play defense. So I just think the whole thing's kind of overblown. Next, we got Titans Colts. I got this one right. The Titans, they don't, they have good defensive tackles, but other than that, I don't know what part of their defense is good. Their secondary isn't great. Richardson kind of ran around a lot, like around the defensive tackles, if that makes sense. I don't know the right terminology I should use. Um, Something I came away from this game with is that Shane Steichen, the Colts head coach, needs to protect Anthony Richardson more. He's already going to miss more time. Like, this is the second time this season. And it's because he keeps running him out there, and it's going to get him injured a lot more than it should. He needs to call more plays that won't end up in him getting hurt. Last year, we saw it with Jalen. Shane Steichen was the offensive coordinator for Philadelphia, and the same injury happened to Jalen because he was just running so much. So I'd like to see him kind of look into protecting him more. Other than that, I think he's a great coach. I don't think like there's no one better you could have hired. He's one of the best play callers in the NFL. And proof of why he's so good is look at this Colts team and tell me what do they do good? They aren't great at running the ball. It's their strength, but they're not great at it. They aren't great at passing. Their defense is okay. They're not like that good with all due respect. They aren't that good, but they are contending for their division. When you look at it, it's the play calling. Like Shane Steichen, he's getting his team into third and manageable or second manageable, and he's just making everything easy for Anthony Richardson. And that's kind of what's getting them wins. It got them wins in Philadelphia last year, some games that they probably shouldn't have won, but they just won because of good play calling and good awareness. Um, Next is Ravens Steelers. I got this one right. This game, historically, this game is always a close fought battle. Like, no matter what. The Ravens are one of the better teams in the NFL. The Steelers are one of the worst. And it just didn't matter. This game is always close. Special teams and defense will always keep this game close. And the sports books were giving 4.5, and I was like, that is way too much. So I got it right. Um, this is one of the best. Like, if you are a real like football nerd, Ravens Steelers is always a must watch. Like, I don't care what anyone says. It's pure football. Like, the way that special teams plays into it. The blocked punt changed everything. That turned into a safety that flipped the whole game. Uh, I think Mike Tomlin and uh, Jim Harbaugh, probably said his name wrong. Like when those two go up against each other, it's one of the best like chess matches in football that you can get because they just know like the way that they have their blocking schemes and their defense and their run schemes. It's real football. It's not like throwing the ball up and down the field for 400 yards is cool and entertaining, but it's also like I don't know how to say it. I just think I just love the ground and pound style of Ravens and Steelers football. I really don't know how to explain it. Um, TJ Watt won them this game. He's so good. He's won them 2 games alone. Like plays that he made. Um, I think Matt Canada is going to be fired soon. He looked. He just the camera would show him in the booth, and he would just look so out of it and stressed and mad. Uh, the winning play of this game, Kenny Pickett threw 2 big passes to George Pickens, and I don't understand. Like I said this in my other videos, I don't understand why they don't throw to him more. And I guess it has to be something with the coordinator. Like I don't get it. I think he's gonna be fired. Tomlin keeps standing up for him, and it's like respectable, but at the same time, it's really hurting them. So I don't know. As for the Ravens, they keep losing games that they should win. That's gonna come back to bite them. Yeah. Um, Next is Panthers Lions. I thought I got this one right. I took the Lions like plus 9.5. I think. It, the Panthers just they're I I don't know what to tell you. Like they traded this year's pick for Bryce Young. They're gonna miss out on Caleb Williams, and Bryce Young just looks awful. He he keeps making these mistakes. He's throwing these interceptions. He's taking these sacks that he never took in college. And it's like, why is that happening now? Like it's schematically, he's doing things that he's never done before in college. And my only like reasoning I can come up with is he's not big enough and tall enough to see the field, to see the coverage. That's kind of all I can come up with. I don't know why it's happening. He seems like he's just in his own head and he doesn't look confident. The offensive line isn't helping either. They have a bad offensive line. Um, the Lions are for real. They keep doing what they're supposed to do. They're definitely going to be a threat in the NFC. I know the focus is Niners, Eagles, and I would say Cowboys, but after tonight, not the Cowboys. And the Lions are a real threat. Um, Aiden Hutchinson is looking like TJ Watt out there. I can't believe the Jags didn't grab him. Like it was so obvious that he was the best player from or yeah, the best player from that draft and they just didn't take him. It's mind boggling, but I don't know. Next we got Texans, Falcons. This one pushed for me. Uh, Bryce Young is the real deal. He's great. Or Bryce Young, not Bryce Young. CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud is the real deal. He broke the like all-time record for pass attempts without an interception to start a career. I think it's 177. They really should have won this game. He led a like a 2-minute drive at the end of the game for a touchdown. It's just the Falcons ended up getting a field goal at the end of it. I keep waiting for CJ Stroud to kind of have like a rookie moment, like for him to mess up and like lose a game, like be the reason that they lost the game, if that makes sense. Because he's the reason they're winning games. Their offensive line is bad. They don't have any weapons. Their defense is like eh. And CJ Stroud is just willing them to almost wins as for today, but like in the previous weeks, he's willed them to wins. He looks so good. Um, Texans fans should be really happy they got him. Next, we got Giants Dolphins. I got this one right. I had Dolphins or minus 12. Uh, the Giants, they're going to be getting a new quarterback at the end of this year. I mean, who are they going to beat? They're going to get a top three pick, I think, around there. Um, it's just the same problems as I've always said for the past couple weeks. Daniel Jones is bad, bad defense, bad O line, just everything. The Dolphins, they look fine. They didn't look good. There's a good response from last week for them. Tua did have a pick six. It didn't matter because it's the Giants, but that's something I've noticed because he's been pretty accurate this season. So I don't know. I think he's okay. He'll be okay. It's just that was kind of weird and uncharacteristic. Uh, I didn't really get too much look at the afternoon games because I was focusing on the Eagles, Bengals, Cardinals. I got this one wrong. Joe Burrow looked pretty healthy. He looked much more like his old self. He was able to move around the pocket, dodge sacks. He was able to actually throw the ball. Jamar Chase had an amazing game. Let me pull up the stats here. 15 receptions for 192 yards and 3 touchdowns. If you had him in fantasy, or if you played him in fantasy, then you probably had a bad day. Uh, if Cincinnati can play like that more and Burrow shows that he is healthy, then they can still make noise. They just have to be pretty much perfect from here on out. Jets Broncos. I don't have much to say about this. I got this one wrong. I got all the afternoon games wrong. Uh, I picked Broncos because I trusted is basically Zach Wilson against a bad defense or Russell Wilson against a good defense, and I picked Russell Wilson. I shouldn't have, but something interesting about this game, I'm sure you all know that like Sean Payton kind of insulted Nathaniel Hackett, who used to coach the Broncos, who is now an assistant coach on the Jets. And I thought it was really cool that even though after Aaron Rodgers got injured and everything, like they were still able to go out and get this win for him to like kind of humble Sean Payton, who's an asshole. But yeah, so that was kind of cool, I think. Next, Chiefs Vikings. I got this one wrong. I don't have much to say, to be honest. Travis Kelce got injured or almost got injured. I don't know. He like twisted his ankle, but he got back in. I think he's fine. Um, there are a few questionable calls in this game, but it's the Chiefs. That's how it goes. the Vikings were pretty close to covering this. I had them plus 4.5. Um, Justin Jefferson got injured. I don't know how much that'll affect the next coming weeks. The Vikings, I think their season is done. 1-4. Tough schedule still. Detroit is just gonna dog walk that division. I The Vikings just aren't getting the same luck they had last year. I'm sure this point has been made 1,000 times. They just can't win one score games. That's just how like football is sometimes. If I were the Vikings, I think you should. I think you should keep Justin Jefferson and just. I don't know. If you can pay Kirk, then pay Kirk. Like I think Kirk and Jefferson are okay. You just have to get more personnel on the defense. You have a good defensive coordinator, just not the personnel for it. And then the next Eagles Rams. Um, Going in, I got this one wrong. I've had the Rams. Going into this, I was pretty worried about the secondary with Cup coming back and Nakua doing his thing. And in the first half, the secondary did get cooked. Uh, they kept playing off like a couple yards off from Cup and them, and they were just getting cooked. Uh, Cooper Cup looked pretty good coming back from injury. You would have never guessed he was injured. The big thing in this game were second half adjustments. Sean Desai, the defensive coordinator for the Eagles, he made some adjustments. It looked like they were playing more press coverage, which definitely helped the pass rush get home. Uh, and they have a new addition, Bradley Roby from the Saints. I believe he was spot out or cut, and he's now on the Eagles. He just came a few days ago. They played him more in the second half in the slot, and it let Bradbury and Slay be on the outside where they excel at, and you could definitely tell the difference. I think he's a good addition to the team. We'll see 2 weeks from now with Tyreek Hill coming up. That matchup scares me. Jalen Carter, like if you could like make the uniforms look the same, you would have thought that Jalen Carter was Aaron Donald in this matchup. That's how good he looked. AJ Brown had a monster game, 6 catches, 127 yards. Hassan Reddick had 2 sacks. I was a little worried about him to start the season, but he's going to be just fine. And it felt like didn't have that great of a game, but when you read his stats, 25 for 38, 303 yards, passing yards, touchdown and an interception, and then 15 carries for 72 yards and a touchdown, rushing. He had a pretty good game. It just didn't feel like it with the interception. Um, the red zone offense is still a major red flag for this team. If they want to beat the Niners, they have to figure out how to score touchdowns in the red zone. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they'll fix it. It's been 5 weeks already. But the offensive coordinator, Brian Johnson, is getting better at it. I can tell they are getting better. It's just the red zone still scares me. Um, and yeah, the defense they they look they looked a lot more encouraging this week. We'll have to see how it holds up. And then finally, the biggest disappointment of the week, Cowboys at Niners. Everyone's looking forward to this game. I knew this was going to be a blowout, to be honest. Like, with all due respect, if you thought this wasn't going to be a blowout, you just don't know football. Like, I got this one right. Brock Purdy looked great. He keeps making the right reads at the right time. George Kittle, 3 touchdowns. I just don't know who's going to beat this team. You look at their schedule, I just don't know when the first loss is going to come. Like, it might be the Eagles if they figure some stuff out, but I don't know, to be honest. Um, Dak Prescott looked horrible in this game. Anytime there's like, anytime you need Dak to actually do something, he just shits his pants. Um, 3 interceptions. Yeah, like the 3 wins that Dallas has are over bad teams where the defense and special teams scored a lot and Dak didn't really need to do anything. Um, yeah, I don't have much to say about this game. I kind of just knew it was going to be a blowout. Um, and it kind of makes me worried about as an Eagles fan. Um, and yeah, I guess in the video we'll go over. I think the best AFC team right now is probably Kansas City. The best NFC team right now is probably San Francisco. Um, the best player from today is probably we'll have to go with I think Jamar Chase, maybe George Kittle, maybe one of those two. Um, MVP as of right now would probably be Mahomes. I want to throw up in my mouth saying that. Um, and yeah, so we ended the week. I'm so sorry, I forgot the record. We're currently 32, 22, and 2. First losing week by 1. Unless if Green Bay covers tomorrow, then we'll be 500 for this week. But potentially the first losing week for the YouTube channel. But we're still 10 units, plus 10 units for on the season. So keep watching. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, let me know. I do pick every single game. I don't pick like a select few. I pick every single one. So that's plus 10 units for every single one. I think that's pretty good. These are against the spread too, so you're getting value. Uh, so yeah, someone sponsor me or something. Like, subscribe, comment. Thank you.